Hello and a very warm welcome to Science Monitor, your weekly update on what's happening in the field of science, technology, research and innovation in and around the country. I'm Tina Jha. From the establishment of CSIR-National Institute of Science Communication and Policy Research to a new study by IIT Guwahati revealing important clues to understand the death of massive stars. We have plenty in store for you on this edition of Science Monitor. But first up, the headlines. CSIR-National Institute of Science Communication and Policy Research launched. The institute will give a new momentum to science communication and STI policy research. IIT Guwahati researchers present new clues to understand the mechanism of supernovae. First of its kind simulation study conducted by the researchers reveals new facts about the fast flavor conversion of neutrinos. A look at India's first indigenously designed standing wheelchair Arise. Affordable and disruptive innovation empowers the differently abled users in many ways. And we'll see how one can make a career in the field of civil engineering and play a constructive role in building the nation. And now the news in detail. On the 14th of January, Union Minister Dr. Harshvardhan inaugurated CSIR, National Institute of Science, Communication and Policy Research, or NIScPR. The institute has been formed by merging NIScPR and NISTADS, two former veteran institutes of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, or the CSIR. Now, both of these institutes have been working at the interface of S&T and society and science communication. The new institute has the vision to become a globally respected think tank and a resource center for understanding STI policy research and communication.
India gained a new institute in the form of National Institute of Science, Communication and Policy Research, or NIScPR, to give a new direction to the field of science communication and STI policy research. On 14th January, Union Minister Dr. Harshvardhan inaugurated the centre by unveiling the foundation stone of the institute. NIScPR has been formed by merging two institutes of the Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. The National Institute of Science Communication and Information Sources, or NIScPR, and the National Institute of Science, Technology and Development Studies, or NISTADS. The expertise and strength of both the institutes will help NIScPR to adopt a new vision and to meet the expectations.
Mini autonomous body review was undertaken some years ago, whether we can actually rationalize all the autonomous bodies in the country or not. And CSIR also was reviewed as a part of that particular mega review of all the autonomous bodies. And one of the major recommendations in CSIR was to merge different institutes such as NIScPR and NISTADS. So this is the first step. Merger is not only namesake merger, but what we aim to bring together is many people who work together in NISTADS and NIScPR together, and they are complementary to each other. Their strengths together so that they can guide nation's science policy for future. And also the way science policy is formulated to communicate it to general public in future. That's the idea.
CSIR-NIScPR was a frontier institute in science communication and published science magazines and science journals. It was also managing the oldest national science library in the country and was also the custodian of the National Knowledge Resource Consortium. Similarly, CSIR-NISTADS was known for its research in S&T policy. Over the years, it gained a rich experience in the area of history of science, S&T and society, and has accomplished many related projects. Both these institutes were working at the interface of S&T and society and science communication. The new institute will strive to become a globally respected think tank and resource center for understanding science, technology, and innovation policy research and communication. The institute will also do the same among diverse stakeholders and act as a bridge at the interface of science, technology, industry, and society.
आप देखेंगे साइंस पॉलिसी के बहुत कम इंस्टीट्यूट्स पूरे देश भर में हैं। साइंस पॉलिसी क्या है वही लोगों को नहीं पता है, तो साइंस कम्युनिकेशन के माध्यम से हम साइंस पॉलिसी के बारे में भी लोगों को बता पाएंगे, ताकि समाज को साइंस के जो फल हैं उसका मैक्सिमम फायदा मिल सके। तो एक सिनर्जिज्म मैं देखती हूँ नए इंस्टीट्यूशन में, और एक नई ऊर्जा। कई बार हमारा सोचने का तरीका एक तरह का हो जाता है जब हम एक ही संस्था में काम करते रहते हैं। अब जब ये नई संस्था बनेगी और इसमें जब दोनों संस्थाओं के वैज्ञानिक आपस में मिलेंगे, तो मुझे लगता है एक नई सोच निकल के आएगी।
The Government of India promotes minimum government and maximum governance. Under this approach, institutions with similar objectives are being merged to increase their functionality and outcomes. NIScPR has also been established to define and achieve new positioning.
In a significant development, researchers from the Indian Institute of Technology, Guwahati, in collaboration with researchers representing reputed institutes of Germany and USA, have revealed important clues to understand the death of massive stars. According to the researchers, the findings of their first-of-its-kind simulation studies have revealed the problems with the existing supernovae models, and therefore, a new approach should be adopted to understand the mechanism of supernovae. So let's see the report to know more about this development.
When a massive star runs out of its fuel, it collapses under its own gravity and results in an immense shock wave. This shock wave gives rise to a huge and luminous explosion called supernova. For astrophysicists, this event is of particular interest, as such explosions are considered to be the cradle of birth for new stars and also for the synthesis of heavy elements in nature. But the mechanism of these super explosions is not yet completely understood and has remained one of the enigmas of the universe. However, scientists think that this mechanism can be understood by studying the tiniest subatomic particles called neutrinos, which are released during a supernova in large numbers.
Whenever a supernova explosion takes place, 99% of the star's energy is emitted as neutrinos, and these neutrinos, they travel with the speed of light and are weakly interacting in nature. So these neutrinos can be a great source of information about what is exactly happening inside the star.
Neutrino is actually a neutral subatomic particle with a negligible mass. It is very much like an electron, but it doesn't have any charge. Considered to be one of the basic building blocks of our universe, neutrinos exist in three forms or flavors: electron neutrino, muon neutrino, and tau neutrino. And during a supernova explosion, neutrinos of all flavors or types are emitted in a large number and with a powerful flux. Till now, for studying the process of supernova explosion and the accompanying neutrino emission in a simpler way, scientists have been classifying neutrinos in two groups: electron neutrinos and non-electron neutrinos, which clubs muon and tau neutrinos as one, as scientists assume that these neutrinos are identical, as they have identical fluxes. But according to researchers belonging to the Department of Physics at IIT Guwahati and their co-researchers, this assumption is not right, as many studies show that under high density, neutrinos can change forms or flavors. Which means electron neutrino can become muon neutrino and muon neutrino can become electron neutrino at a very high rate.
Since the neutrino density is very high, they start interacting with each other. It's like, although they are very weakly interacting, you put a lot of them inside one box and then they're forced to talk to each other. Now, what people had found out previously was that if you have such a setup where all these neutrinos are kept in a box, they keep talking to each other and they keep interacting with each other, then there is always a finite possibility that a certain kind of neutrino can convert into another kind of neutrino. What this means is that a significant fraction of the electron neutrinos can actually convert to muon neutrinos and vice versa. This is known in the literature as collective oscillations of neutrinos.
Researchers from IIT Guwahati collaborated with researchers of Max Planck Institute for Physics, Munich, Germany, and the Northwestern University, USA, and abandoned the usual two-flavor approach. They performed non-linear simulation of the fast flavor conversions, including all the three types of neutrinos inside the supernova. They demonstrated with their study that inside the supernova, non-electron neutrinos can have different fluxes, and therefore one needs to consider all neutrinos as separate entities to study supernova precisely.
We, for the very first time, did this three-flavor nonlinear studies of fast conversion. And what we found is that the three-flavor results are substantially different than the two-flavor ones. In fact, in some cases, these two-flavor results are giving exactly opposite conclusion to the three-flavor ones. And this eventually takes us to this very important realization for treating supernova neutrinos and fast oscillations, all the flavors are essential. One cannot neglect any one of them. And in fact, this can actually hold the key to this very important question, that why certain stars, certain massive stars, die in a super explosion or supernovae, and why some of them fail to become supernovae and eventually can become a black hole.
According to the researchers, three flavor studies changed the results dramatically in comparison to the existing two-flavor results. This can have major implications for particle and astrophysics of supernovae neutrinos. The study has been published in the journal Physical Review Letters.
Time for a short break on the program. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Defeat coronavirus. Let us always remember, wear a mask. Wash hands. Follow physical distancing. Together, we'll succeed. Together, we'll win against COVID-19.
Last month, during the DST-CII Technology Summit, conducted by the Department of Science and Technology, Government of India, the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, was declared the most innovative institute of the year 2020 for its disruptive innovations. The institute was awarded for its exceptional innovations in the field of healthcare, technology, and several other sectors. One of these innovations was India's first standing wheelchair called Arise. So today, we'll take you to IIT Madras to know more about this impactful innovation.
The invention of the wheelchair eased the life of many differently abled persons. But it had its limits. Though the users could move independently in a seated position, yet they needed frequent assistance whenever they needed to stand. To address this problem, many developed countries improved upon the conventional wheelchairs using modern technology and developed standing wheelchairs. These wheelchairs enable the users to stand independently, but they were beyond the budget of a common Indian citizen as they were imported. Therefore, empathizing with the differently abled and aiming to provide affordable technology to all, researchers from the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, designed and developed India's first standing wheelchair. The affordable device was aptly named as Arise and launched at the IIT Madras Research Park in Chennai.
In this device, IIT Madras is the lead R&D partner for this device. We have Phoenix Medical Systems as the manufacturing partner. Wellcome Trust is the NGO based out of UK, which has funded the development of this device, which has helped in making it really affordable. And we have a lot of user testing partners like EPD Bangalore, Mobility India, CMC Vellore.
The TTK Center for Rehabilitation Research and Device Development, also known as R2D2, has designed and developed a RISE under the supervision of IIT's Department of Mechanical Engineering. A RISE has hand-operated, linkage-based mechanism that enables the user to sit and stand independently in a controlled manner, and a gas spring reduces the efforts expended by the user. The wheelchair not only makes the user independent in many ways, but also aids in reducing the wheelchair-associated health problems like poor blood circulation and pressure sores. The wheelchair comes in different sizes and provides adequate safety.
The key problem what we are trying to solve with Arise standing wheelchair is that wheelchair users often, because of the limitations of a wheelchair, are limited in functionality. Even in terms of therapy, standing is a great benefit, which is limited because of conventional wheelchairs. And thirdly, you always want to look eye to eye when you're talking to someone. So these are the core values what we are trying to add with the Arise standing wheelchair. So we have taken up this problem and we have basically added the standing mechanism into a conventional wheelchair, so that anytime users, when they want to stand, they can just use the mechanism and stand independently.
Welcome UK provided support to commercialize the technology through an Affordable Healthcare in India award, which brought together IIT Madras and the manufacturing partner of Arise, Phoenix Medical Systems. NGOs, hospitals, rehabilitation centers, users and physicians were consulted during the development of this wheelchair. Keeping in mind the Indian user, its mechanical complexity has also been reduced. This equipment works in urban as well as rural setups. Undoubtedly, this innovation by Indian engineers makes the users self-reliant in daily chores and improves their access to various sectors.
Civil engineering deals with designing, constructing, and maintaining a variety of structures catering to public needs. It also covers planning different ways to preserve the environment for the betterment of society. Therefore, this field has many specializations as well as several opportunities. Today, we'll see how one can make a career in this field and also contribute to the development of the nation.
Design and construction of infrastructure is closely linked to human civilization. Even today, our ancient structures amaze us with their impeccable planning and durability. And understanding the science of designing, building and maintaining such structures is known as civil engineering. From our humble homes to skyscrapers to water supply systems, civil engineering covers every physical concrete structure on the earth. And in a developing country like India, where infrastructure is developing rapidly, there is a lot of potential in this field. Civil engineering is said to be the oldest and the broadest engineering, as it includes planning and implementing not only the structures like highways, bridges, tunnels, schools, hospitals, airports, dams, and critical structures like nuclear plants, but also the facilities related to urbanization like water treatment facilities and sewage systems.
Civil engineering is considered to be the mother of all engineering subjects. This was one of the oldest engineering disciplines. And all the construction activities like buildings, harbors, bridges, highways are a part of civil engineering discipline, and the students learn how to analyze, how to design, how to construct all these miracles of engineering.
A variety of courses are offered by many government and private engineering institutes in the country, like Diploma in Civil Engineering, BE in Civil Engineering, BTech in Civil Engineering, ME in Civil Engineering, MTech in Civil Engineering, and PhD in Civil Engineering. Diploma courses in civil engineering are offered by polytechnic colleges. After passing the entrance examination of the institute, 10th pass students can take admission in a 3-year diploma course. These candidates can work as junior engineers. For doing BE or BTech in civil engineering, one must pass 12th standard with physics, mathematics and chemistry and clear JEE or equivalent entrance examination to get admission in reputed engineering institutes. In these courses, students study a variety of topics like fluid dynamics, soil mechanics, structural dynamics, urban planning, use of formulas and equations, etc., which acquaints the candidates with different aspects of civil engineering. As the pay package depends heavily on the work experience and skills of an engineer, so the candidates should do internships whenever they get a chance to gain practical experience. Candidates should also train in softwares like AutoCAD to brighten their job prospects immediately after their studies. Moreover, candidates should also maintain good health, as the job of a civil engineer can be very demanding. As civil engineering is a diverse field, so it is further divided into many branches like construction engineering. Includes managing and supervising the entire construction project, inspection of construction material, implementation of the project within time and meeting all the standards. Geotechnical engineering includes how infrastructure will interact with the ground and other natural elements, and which building material will work best with a particular climate. Structural engineering deals with the construction and maintenance of major construction projects, including dams, bridges, buildings, to ensure long-term strength and durability. Hydraulic or water resources engineering deals with construction of hydraulic structures and managing water as a natural resource. Transport engineering. It deals with designing, constructing and maintaining all forms of public transportation systems in conjunction with safety and environmental standards. Environmental engineering deals with developing scientific solutions to environmental problems associated with construction and structures.
In all these branches, there is a good scope of job opportunities as well as the futuristic approach of the student, depending upon whether he wants to go to the higher studies or whether he wants to switch over to the management side of civil engineering, because there is a good scope in the management also, the construction management. This is a very good branch of management which directly connects with the civil engineering.
One can also pursue post-graduation and PhD courses to gain in-depth knowledge in specialized disciplines and to expand career options. The need for infrastructure has increased by leaps and bounds in each and every sector. Therefore, there are many job options at different levels for trained and skilled candidates. Government departments, transport services, municipalities, private construction companies recruit civil engineers at various levels. Apart from this, experienced candidates can also obtain a professional engineering license to work independently.
Time for another short break on the program. There's still more coming up ahead. Don't go anywhere.
Do you know what were the objectives of the Information Technology Act year 2000? Your options are A. To primarily regulate e-commerce, B. To regulate FDI in software sector. C. To regulate imports in hardware sector. And D. To regulate licensing in IT sector. See the correct answer tonight at 9:30 p.m. only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back once again. You're watching Science Monitor. And now, let's take a quick look at the other developments that have made news in the field of science and technology in our special segment, Science Express.
India has started its COVID-19 vaccination drive from January 16th. In its first phase, healthcare workers will be the top priority, followed by other frontline workers, and the cost of their vaccination will be borne by the centre. After them, priority will be given to people above the age of 50 and people with comorbidities. So far, over 61,000 program managers, 2 lakh vaccinators and other 3.7 lakh members of the vaccination team have been trained as part of the training program. Till now, more than 1 crore Covishield vaccines of Serum Institute of India and 55 lakh vaccines of Bharat Biotech Covaxin have been delivered. According to the experts, vaccination is being used in emergency situation and does not guarantee 100% safety against the disease. Therefore, all need to follow the guidelines related to COVID, like wearing mask, washing hands, and maintaining social distancing. 2 flight surgeons associated with the Gaganyaan mission of the Indian Space Research Organization (ISRO) will go to Russia to get hands-on training in space medicine. The Gaganyaan program is an indigenous mission that would take 3 Indian astronauts to space by 2022. The flight surgeons are doctors from the Indian Air Force who have specialized in aerospace medicine. According to ISRO, the flight surgeons will leave soon and will get the specialized training with flight surgeons in Russia. Training of astronauts is a critical aspect of the human space mission project, and 4 test pilots of the Indian Air Force have been chosen for India's first manned mission to space. They are undergoing training at the Yuri A. Gagarin Research and Test Cosmonaut Training Center near Moscow since February last year. Now, best managed protected areas in the country will be ranked and awarded every year. Union Minister of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, Prakash Javadekar, recently released the Management Effectiveness Evaluation of 146 national park and wildlife sanctuaries in the country. It should be noted that at present, India has a network of 903 protected areas in the country, covering about 5% of the total geographic area of the country. In order to assess the efficacy of protected areas, evaluation of management effectiveness is required. According to the minister, India has 70% of the global tiger population, 70% of Asiatic lions, and more than 60% of leopards population. And this is a certificate of India's thriving biodiversity. He also announced that from this year onwards, 10 best national parks, 5 coastal and marine parks, and top 5 zoos in the country will be ranked and awarded annually.
Well, so that's it from us in this edition of Science Monitor. You can send us your feedback and suggestions through email. Our email ID is news@vigyanprasar.gov.in. You can also write to us at Vigyan Prasar, 5th floor, Prithvi Bhavan, Lodi Road, New Delhi, 110003. So we'll take your leave now. See you again next week. Until then, take good care of yourself, your families, stay safe, and think scientifically.